What's going on, guys? So this first video is all about Dynasty rebuild using the University of Toledo. I'm super excited about this. I've been waiting for this game for a long time. I mean, I graduated high school in 2013. Last game was NCAA 14, so to know that this game is back, hopefully for good, is a great thing for me. I'm super excited. And so before we get started with this video, I want you guys to go follow me on Instagram at SmoothWGaming and TikTok SmoothWGaming, same as well. YouTube, subscribe to this channel. Really would appreciate it. Show some love, show some support. If you guys have any questions, fire away, man. I'm here to help you. I love NCAA. Loved it when I was a kid, and being able to play it again now is really incredible. So I hope that you guys will enjoy this video, and let's get into it. What it looks like, this is that main screen. You click on Dynasty, it'll give you options: start, load, continue. Obviously, you can only continue if you have one in play. I did Cloud Dynasty, went to active roster. I tried to make it work, but it kind of struggled a little bit, and like I said, EA servers were down, so I went with the default rosters. I don't think it makes too much of a difference, but that's what I did. Go into Dynasty settings, you check out skill level. I have it at All-American. Thinking of going to Heisman when the playoffs start, but we'll see how it goes. You can see all the other random things on there that if you want to change them, you certainly can. It's your game, your choice. However you want to play is how you want to play. We advance, we go through. Obviously, you know, we had to choose the University of Toledo, being a guy from Toledo, and wanting to do a rebuild. This was the team that I chose. Picked head coach. And from there, you can either use the head coach that's already there. Obviously, they don't have coaches in the game, but you can use like their makeshift one that they have. I chose not to do that. Okay, I chose to go create new. I'm gonna make my own coach, and I want to see what that's all about. And there's 3 different options you can choose: motivator, recruiter, or tactician. I went with recruiter. I really wanted to be the guy that can recruit really well. There's different perks that come with that, which I really enjoy what that's like, being able to add to that. Because the tactician side of things, I feel like that's just a gameplay thing. I feel like if you're just good at the game, you can be the tactician. But I'm sure there's perks that come with it that help as well. And then motivator, you can unlock a second and a third. I think motivator is going to be the one that I unlock second, just because that helps get XP and all that sort of stuff. So, but that's what we went with. So, first things first, Sammy Smooth, that's the coach's name. Everybody on my channel, their last name is going to be Smooth because everybody is smooth over here at Smooth Wave. That's how we operate. Went with the offensive playbook for Toledo, the spread, 3-3-5 defense. And then alma mater, you know, we had to choose Toledo. That's where Sammy Smooth was at. He graduated from there, and now he's come back to lead them to a championship. I went with the Ohio pipeline. And the reason I did that was because I knew when I was recruiting, I saw some things beforehand that proximity to home is a big thing. And so if my pipeline was in Ohio, I'm going to get that upgrade already. And then being able to use the proximity to home, if that's a deal breaker or if that's a big deal in general to one of the recruits, I have that already on lock. Because they're in that pipeline, I know that they're going to be, the proximity to home obviously is going to be Ohio. So that's why I went with that one. Other stuff I kind of left the same, didn't really touch it. They have all sorts of options as far as like the head that you can use. There's probably way too many options. I found one that I like and kind of roll with it. I think it kind of looks like me a little bit. I don't know. Y'all can be the judge. Doesn't matter. Then you can use the polo or like the pullover shirt. Then you continue on. This screen gives you a cool look. It kind of shows you the history of the team. And so if you're choosing one of those new schools that are just now in FBS, obviously there's not going to be anything, but obviously you can see like in 2004, won the MAC championship going 9-4. 2011, there was a bowl game that they won. All sorts of different things. And then there's your 3-year contract. Okay, the goal is to make a bowl game as your coach. That's how you keep the job. I guess they can fire you at some point. But got the signature on there, Sammy Smooth, and we're on our way. Now it kind of gets into, well, first we're going to do the upgrade the coach skills. This is what I was talking about, that coaching tree, how you're going to be able to unlock different coach abilities as you go forward. So I started out with recruiter, and there's some different information on there that when you start, you can go look through and see like some of the different things that each of those offer, what some of the traits are, and all that sort of stuff. But I go into recruiter here, gives you a look at all the different traits. The first one I'm going to spend points on is the QB. Takes less time to recruit because I know I'm going to need a quarterback early on, and so we got to get the guy that we want, and being able to spend a little bit less the hours a little bit less is helpful. Now we go into recruiting. Recruiting is probably the most time-consuming part of the game, but to me it's the most fun. It's what I enjoyed the most about the old game, is being able to do some of that recruiting stuff, and I think it's really advanced, and I think it's really cool the way that they have it set up. So first things first, I've set house rules on my Dynasty, okay? House rules are you get one 5-star prospect that you can go after. So you only can pick one. It's not like you pick 2 and then whichever one you get is which one you get. You pick one. If you don't land him, you don't land him. That stinks. You get one 5-star that you can go after. We're only a 2.5-star or a 1.5-star school, I believe. And so being a 1.5-star school, it should be a struggle to get a 5-star, and you shouldn't be getting 5 stars left, right, and sideways, or even 4 stars. So I actually have it set. The house rules are one 5-star prospect each year, and then everybody else has to be a 3-star or below. As you'll see here in a little bit, you can get a 3-star that's a gem, which will, if properly built up, will become a 4-star, a 4-star caliber player. But out of recruiting, he was a 3-star. So that's how I'm choosing to play. So first thing I went into, go into 5-star, and really, I don't think I'm going to be able to get anybody that's not inside the state of Ohio. I think there's going to be, unless there's somebody like a deal breaker. So like you look at this right tackle. What's his name? Braden McQuiston, however you say that. He has a deal breaker there. Proximity to home, has to have an A. I have an A. He needs a B-. He's from Michigan. I have the Ohio pipeline, schools in Ohio. So that's somebody that if I wanted to target, I could target and potentially get him pretty easily, because that's a deal breaker for him. So he's not going after. There's not many other schools that are going to be able to go after him. I didn't want to waste my 5-star on a right tackle, so I went scrolling through the list. Went to Ohio. I saw this wide receiver that wanted a championship contender, but I'm not going to have that. I'm not going to be competing for championships, at least according to NCAA. I'm not going to. We'll see how it all shakes out. But I have a C- in that, needs a B+, so automatically I can't even recruit him right off the cuff. So it doesn't even matter. Oh wait, no, that's the wrong guy. Scratch everything I just said. But you go down a little bit further. One spot down, Christian Neal. Christian Neal has a deal breaker playing time. I have an A+ in that category. I could use you on my team. He needs a B-. So I know, and he's in Ohio, so I got the pipeline, as you can see. That's a big deal for me. And so I know that this is a guy that I could potentially go out and recruit, and he would actually land on my team. It's going to take a lot of work, and it's going to take a lot of hours, which is a big deal. But, that's something that you commit yourself to. One thing I want you guys to notice is the stuff in the right-hand corner. So you have scholarships offered, you have hours spent, and you have targets. So you can only have 35 targets on your board. 500 hours is where I start out at. I'm sure if you go to like an Alabama or a Georgia, you're going to start out with significantly more, which means you can go after guys that you want heavy. I'm not going to be able to do that. I have to be a little bit more choosy about how I spend those hours and what I choose to do with them. So now I'm looking through 3-star prospects, kind of checking out what we have there, different positions. And I love how this game does this, where it shows you the need that you want, or the need that you have for each of those positions. So you don't have to like constantly go back and check and see like, okay, am I making sure I'm fulfilling all the needs that I have? And then as you'll see here, I've actually gone in and sorted. So if you look at that left side, I've gone in and sorted by targeted. What is targeted? Targeted is they automatically want to come to my school. So I know that I already have a leg up on them when it comes to recruiting. I don't have to put in nearly as much work, because I may actually already start in the top 5 or top 3, top 8, whatever it is. So those are guys that you're going to want to go after because you're already going to start higher up their board, which is going to make it a little bit easier to recruit them. And then you can add, like, obviously for that list of cornerbacks, I had pipeline, and they were in the state of Ohio. So if there's any proximity to home things, then that is super helpful. So this first guy we're going to show you, Richard Levron. Okay, obviously he was interested in me because I'm already in the top 8 with him, and so I'm going to spend some time scouting him and see if this 3-star quarterback can end up being anything. He's not. So that little icon there where it pops up with a gem with a line through it, that means that he's going to be a bust. Now that doesn't mean he's not a good player necessarily. It just means that, because if you look at his stats, he's got some pretty good stats. It just means that he's a 3-star, but he's only going to develop into a 2-star caliber player. they're going to go 1 star down or 1 star up or stay the same, depending on what the gem is. All right, so we scouted him, and he came out to not be anything that we really wanted. So let's go to this Christian Neal linebacker. Scouting him. Obviously, I have to spend more time because I don't have that unlocked in my recruiting thing. Find out that he's going to be a true 5-star. Send him a scholarship. That's a big deal. You send a scholarship right away. It's super helpful. Kind of moves you up their board automatically, which is what you want. Let's go over here to these wide receivers. Scouting Nate here. He's going to be true to his thing. Same thing with Shaquem. Well, it's not same thing with Shaquem. Shaquem is going to be a bust. He's going to be a 3-star that goes down to a 2-star. But I liked what he had to offer. He had some really good stats. 93 speed, 94 acceleration right off the cuff. So I was like, even though he's a bust, I still kind of want to keep him. Also, I'm already in his top 4. So that's kind of a big deal. Maybe I can land him early. We'll see. So we offer him the scholarship and just kind of see what happens. Scroll through some of the rest of the prospects, and you basically just rinse and repeat this process, okay? So you're going to scout, and then from there you have to make the decision, okay? Do I want this player on my team? Do I not want this player on my team? Offering a scholarship early on and hitting them heavy with some recruiting stuff is going to help you jump up their board. If it's a player you really want, you have to devote the hours to it. But again, if you're a small school like Toledo, you only have so many hours to offer, which does make it a little bit more complicated because you can't just go heavy into everybody because you only have so many hours to offer. So you really have to be kind of choosy about what you do and how you spend your hours. But you guys can take a look at that on your own. There's a lot of information on there. Certainly in the comments, if you have any questions, feel free, fire away. I'm happy to help. However, this is custom scheduling. I loaded in the schedule, and I didn't know what the next year's schedule was, but I loaded in the next year's schedule, and I saw at Mississippi State week 3. I said, no, sir. I don't know what this team's like. I don't know how to play this game that well. I've played the other games. I said, no, let's go play somebody I know. So we're going to go play FAU down in Boca Raton, originally from South Florida. So I was like, all right, we'll go check out the Owls, see what they're all about, see if we can take them down. So we advanced a week. And you get a little summary here, weekly advanced summary, it says in the top left. And it kind of gives you a snapshot of some of the decisions that have been made. So you can see that right tackle that I was recruiting, he's reached his top 8 schools. I'm second. The left outside linebacker and right outside linebacker, they've reached their top 8 schools, and I didn't make that list. Now, maybe I didn't offer a scholarship. Maybe I didn't, fill in the blank, whatever. I didn't recruit them, whatever the case. And the wide receiver, 3-star wide receiver, I'm second on his board, and he's reached his top 8 schools. So kind of gives you a little bit of a summary of what has happened as far as recruiting is concerned. So we jump back into recruiting here, and now we get into adding action. So Christian Neal is that 5-star player that I know I'm going to be competing against big schools for. So I know if I'm going to get this guy, I got to start pouring some hours into him heavy to compete with probably like the Ohio States, the Michigans of the world in order to get him. So I'm going to send the house, and you can see the breakdown. Maximum influence, you get 5 upticks, which I don't know exactly on the bar what that equates to, but 5 upticks of influence on him, which is a big deal. That'll kind of help boost up that recruiting. Then we go into more scouting, some guys that I didn't spend any time on. That's a nice gem, that Nick Paul. He's a gem there at a 3-star, and I'm already fifth on his interest sheet, which is kind of a cool thing. So that might be somebody we can actually snag. We got Akron, another MAC school, competing for him. It'd be really cool it's kind of cool how you can compete against some of those same schools that you're going to be playing against. I think it's kind of neat anyway. That's just me. So you go through, you do different recruiting, add the actions, do all that sort of stuff. And again, it's rinse and repeat. You're going to be doing this over and over again. The beautiful thing is, though, it is set it and forget it. So once you've decided, oh, I'm going to have this action on this player, it'll just recycle next week. You don't have to go in and press anything. If you want to, you can remove it, and it'll give you those hours back to go spend somewhere else should you choose to do it. So at this point, I'm just kind of going around to all my different recruits, and I'm going to find the guys that I want, the guys that I don't necessarily care about, and realizing that I can't always send the house. I can't spend 50 hours worth of points on them because then I won't have it for other people. So some it's just maintaining the race with the other schools. Some it's like I really want this guy really badly, so I'm going to dump all my points into him and see if we can't snag him early to free up those points to potentially spend in other places. And all throughout that, you can be adding and taking guys off your list. If you scout a guy, he's a bust, and you don't want him, get him off your list. You go back to the prospect list and you find somebody, then you add him back in. Here's something I want you guys to see as well. This little icon pops up when you've been locked out. So this is that left outside linebacker and that right outside linebacker that you see from the summary page that I got locked out on. They reached their top 8 schools. I wasn't one of them, so I can go ahead and remove them off the board because there's no sense in having those targets on there. They're not coming to my school, so it doesn't make a difference. So we advance the next week, and there's that summary, kind of breaks down some of the information for you. Every week you're going to have something like that. I don't know for how long, but I know at least while the recruiting process is going on, you're going to have it. So still some of that same process. So I found this quarterback that I really liked. He was kind of only 2 stars, and I scouted him. He has some good stuff. So, who knows? You never know. You just take flyers on guys and see how they progress and how they grow and how well you play with them. Because sometimes you can use a dude in the game and like he may only be like a 2-star, but if you know how to use him in your system and how to operate, then it doesn't really matter. It's really up to you and what you choose to do and how you choose to use them within your offense or your defense or whatever the case may be. So take that with a grain of salt because not everybody likes using guys in different ways. So whatever you want to do, that's up to you. But just word of advice. So we're going to jump into our first game here now. First game of the year against FCS Midwest, the Coyotes. And I think the presentation of this game is stellar. I got to say, the graphics are crazy. Like I said, I live 15 minutes away from Toledo. I've driven past their stadium. I've been in their stadium. All of it looks like on point. It's crazy how good it looks. The lighting looks nice. Field looks nice. Like, the sights and sounds are incredible. Like, they have the fight song in there. I've heard that fight song a million times. Like, it's really cool to see all of it in a game and be able to kind of live out what I see in real life into a video game, right? Like, I think that's pretty neat. So, opening kickoff. Kicking is kind of difficult, to be honest with you. But that was a nice little spin move we put on him. No lie about it. I love some of the presentation stuff like this right here with Tucker Gleason coming out. It's got some stats there. It just looks clean. Like the transitions and everything just looks super clean. This is kind of the play breakdown. You can see they give you some information, and that constantly changes. Like every time you load in, there's information about maybe like the guy who just made the tackle, the guy who made the play, stats, different perks that a player may have. All that sort of stuff is in there, which is really neat to see. So, and then obviously you have your plays that you can choose. I saw from Bordeaux, he used this play to start, or he uses this play a lot, maybe too much. Bordeaux, that's up to you, whatever. But this motion like jet sweep pass type of thing works really well. We started off with it. I heard it was a good play, so we gave it a try. Picked up like 11 yards on it. And then we go back to the well again, scoring our first touchdown of NCAA 25 using the cheese. That's what we're going to call it from now on. Using the cheese, the jet sweep, little pass thing, whatever you want to call it. But it's kind of to me, it's kind of a cheap play. This was a nice play, little lurk, little user lurk there, taking the pick, or getting a pick. First interception of the season. In past games, I've been pretty good at getting interceptions. My friends don't really like me for it, but it is what it is. But immediately we got the ball, go to try and slide, and then Tucker Gleason gets his head taken off, and he loses the ball at the same time, which is no good. So that's unfortunate. FCS Midwest gets the ball back on a 3rd and 3 here. And another theme you'll see, as you just saw me go flying past, tackling is so difficult. I don't know if it's just me. I don't know if it's everybody. But I can tell you for free, my tackling is horrendous. I take bad angles. I try and hit stick everybody. It doesn't work. Like these little in-between of the quarter graphics that come up. These are really nice. Just clean. Again, everything just looks super clean. Like it looks, so they're throwing on 2nd 11. That user there kind of went over and took away that short route that he had. Big sack by number 35 and puts him in a 3rd and 26, which we're going to get another sack on 3rd down, 4th and 25. Brings up first punt of the year. A good little return for Sir Isaac Newton. I know that's not his actual name, but that's what we're calling him. So, like this little Texas route to get the running back in space. Texas route is good. Throwing to running backs is good in general. It's kind of cheese, but you take what you can get. I mean, at the end of the day, you got to get players open. Thought I had a touchdown on this one to the right side to B, but he sacked me instead. That was a bummer. So we had a 2nd and 18. Throw to the tight end, big tight end over there. and picks up a lot of yards for a first down. 3rd and 5 now, trying to score and go back to the well there again with that Texas route. That thing's nice. Again, throwing to running backs on those linebackers. It works in real life. It works in the game. Just got to be choosy about when you do it and the opportunities you have presented in front of you for it. So, and we go back to it again. This time we put a little Heem spin move. That guy glitched out. Little juke move, take your ankles. Tiptoe on the sideline, tutty. I mean, I'm not saying I'm nice with the skill stick, but well, now I got to give Smooth some props every now and again. 1st and 10 here for the Coyotes. Boom, pick. Give me that. And you know we cribbing that thing. User lurk, running to the end zone. I need to get better at the celebrations. That's a key. Got to get better at the celebrations. Can't be doing stupid sellies every time. We got to get jiggy with it every now and again. Yeah, they got me right before halftime. Yeah, is what it is. What are you going to do? This is my first attempt at a field goal, and you can see it went swimmingly. Absolute shank, as the announcer says. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that. 3rd and 18. Oh, yeah, this was really embarrassing. I'm coming up like, yeah. Boom. I hit him, but he got the first down on 3rd and 18. Like, what are we doing? And then they scored again. All right, so we got this 2nd and 10 with 10 seconds to go in the 3rd. We're up pretty big, but we need another big play to kind of finish the game. I really liked this look. I love the plays that we have in this game. Love the plays. I think it's more creative than any Madden I've ever seen. I think there's some really, really nice plays in here. This one in particular. I think this one was in Madden. I could be wrong, but I love that slot, like, I don't even want to call it a wheel route, but it's kind of like a wheel route that he's got going on there from the slot. So I think that's what we hit on this route. Yeah, Newton pops open, and they had a single high safety. It must have been like some sort of man with a safety in the middle of the field look, and so we took advantage of it. Big bomb to Newton, Sir Isaac, and then we get jiggy with it. Get jiggy with it. Yeah, you know how it is. Pick things up in the 4th quarter here, 3rd and 10. Yeah, this was, see, more of bad defense. Defense is a struggle. I'm not going to lie to you. But we did pick up a big win in week 1. Took down FCS Midwest, heading into week 2, going against UMass. But the recording stopped there. I have a real kind of janky way of recording it, but it doesn't really matter. We're recording it for you guys. We're going to have some fun with it. It's going to be a good time. But with all that being said, I know that was a lot. I felt like that was a lot of information. I felt like I talked a mile a minute, but Dynasty mode is back. I think it's back in full force. I think you guys have a lot to be excited about if you love Dynasty. So that'll wrap it up here for this first video of the Dynasty rebuild of the University of Toledo. I play every game, so you're going to see a lot of gameplay. I'll walk you through some different things. If you guys have questions, shoot them to me, and I can include them in some of the next videos, and would love to kind of talk through some different things that Dynasty mode offers. And if you've got a league running and you want me in it, let me know. I might be open to it. I know it's a lot of work, but I might be open to it. So just let me know. So excited. So excited for NCAA to be back, man. This is like, I'm like a kid in a candy shop, dog. Like, I'm so excited. This game was my childhood. I played it a ton growing up. Reggie Bush on the cover. That's the OG one. Don't let anybody tell you any different. That's the one I love. That's the OG one. So thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll see you for week 2 when we take on UMass.